You're listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. What up, everybody? It's your boy, Al Mega. Welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders podcast. And today, you have an amazing independent comic book creator. He is a comic writer. He is a proud Brooklynite. All right. I'm told that he's a person that just won't stay quiet. But even more so, it's his birthday today. So let me introduce the birthday boy himself, the amazing creator, the future star of comics, the one, the only Daniel Kalban.
Hey guys.
What's up, kiddo? How you doing? And
I'm
happy
good.
birthday, bro.
Thanks so much. It's been a busy day. It's like birthday, Kickstarter, it's going to...
So these are all wonderful gifts, man. You're putting yourself out there. Your project is out. It's kicking ass right now. It's almost at half with a whole bunch of days to go. So you're going to meet that. We're going to talk about goals. We're going to talk about that comic book. But most importantly, we're going to talk about you, kiddo. Mm-hmm. So let's get into that, big homie. Talk to me. I say you're a proud Brooklynite, but are you a born Brooklynite?
Unfortunately, my first month and a half, I lived in Manhattan because I was in Mount Sinai Hospital because I was born premature. So my parents lived in Brooklyn, but I was born in Manhattan. So
you were born in Manhattan. I'm sorry.
Born in Manhattan, but raised most part in Brooklyn. So
Okay. And how was it for you growing up in Brooklyn? What era are we talking about? You growing up in Brooklyn?
So basically the 90s to early to mid 2000s.
Okay.
So I first grew up for the first 8.5 years. I lived on Eastern Parkway, right by the library, so that's where my love of reading started. It was literally right there.
Excellent.
It was right at the children's library entrance, so it was, go in, get a bunch of books, and I was an early reader. So, and then we moved here when I was 8.5, which is very different from Eastern Parkway. It's Victorian Flatbush, so it's houses and yards and
very much different. And I mean, even within Brooklyn, that's the funny part. People see one side of Brooklyn, but no, Brooklyn is a very beautiful borough. And that's very different and unique spots.
Yeah, and when we moved here, it was still like kind of being revived after decades of neglect. And then,
but the 80s and 90s.
Here, my sister, when we moved here, my sister and I were like one of 4 or 5 kids on the block, and now there's a whole bunch of them.
Oh wow!
And so my joke is like, where were all these kids when I was a kid?
Yeah, right. Oh, okay. So let's talk about that. So you growing up, right?
Yeah.
Before we get into finding a tribe, let's talk about how did you get into the love of fandom? You told me you're an early reader and all. Who introduced you to the fandom, to the love maybe of reading? Who did that in your life?
Well, my mom kind of got me into reading, but she wasn't a comic book fan, to be quite honest. But one day we're walking. My dad had a book of a history of comics, and so we had reprints of early Superman origins, early Batman origins.
Okay. So
the Golden Age stuff. Well, it was a black and white reprint in a book.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, when I go to my grandparents out on Long Island, they would have the comic strips in Newsday. And then one day we were walking home from school, and on Prospect Park West, someone had left a whole bunch of comics out. I don't know why. And I just picked one up, and I actually have it in my living room right now because I was using it, talking about it a couple weeks ago with someone. It was a Betty and Veronica digest.
And you only picked up the one book?
I was like a little kid. It's all the one, and whoop.
Oh man, I would have taken whatever was there, but I would have looked for more. Hold on, let me scavenge.
Yeah, and that kind of was the first ding.
Okay.
Because I really liked the medium, and then I got my dad's comics from the '60s when I was 7 or 8. We went to my grandparents' house. I was constantly complaining, "Oh, I never had comics in that," because my mom wouldn't let me buy comics. And I didn't have.
So your grandparents took care of you, huh? Hey.
Well, my dad did because my grandparents kept most of his old collection.
Oh wow! Bless.
Now, if you have to remember, these are books from the early '60s, and they were in the back of his childhood closet for decades by the time I got them, and so they weren't in good condition. They're in terrible condition now because those are my comics for most of my life. So,
but you still have them?
I still have them. They're upstairs.
Oh, that's awesome, bro. I love when people keep them around. I still got my very first comic book, and I recently just framed it.
Yeah, these are falling up. Well, when I got them, they were falling apart, and now they're practically
Yeah.
disintegrating. But it has some really cool like key issues. It has like Silver Age Justice League origin.
Ooh, say word.
The first encounter with Earth 3.
Oh no, really? He had that, and you have it now. Nice.
Yeah, but like I read it so much, it's practically falling apart. Which is why now I read it in the omnibus they put out a few years ago.
You
It's
pull
really
that
funny
shit out
'cause-
the plastic, it's gonna go to
Yeah, I
dust
have
like
to
among
get
us.
like Silver Age bags and boards to preserve what's left of them. It's because it's also really interesting because they're time capsules, so you can see like how everything was back in the 1960s. Like it talks about this amusement park where Co-op City is now in the Bronx.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, and so it's kind of interesting that it's talking about like, hey Dad, what was this amusement park? It's like, oh, it's for Co-op City. What is now?
Wow, there was an amusement park in Co-op
Yes.
City? Say
Yeah,
word.
and went out of business in the city. Did I
You
guess
did-
eminent domain and
You just
pull it
taught
out.
me something, yo. Holy shit. That's awesome. No fucking way.
Yeah, and then I went to high school and college, and I got some graphic novels every now and then.
Okay.
And then sometimes during like my break period of school, I'll go into like a hallway and just read. And and then college happened, and then I was there, and I came home one December in 2010, I believe, and we were hit by a horrible blizzard.
Okay. Oh yeah. Wow.
And I'm thinking
Yep.
to myself, you know what? I'm going to write a Superman. And I found like a couple old Superman books I had. Like, you know what? Let me write my own Superman screenplay, which I did, and I've read it back since. And it's like this is terrible. It was my first foray into fan fiction, basically, and I wrote that. Then I wrote a Batman one, and from those I started writing fan stories. From there, I wrote fan comic book scripts,
Okay.
and then I started writing my own stuff.
All
And
right.
at the same time, in 2010, I was introduced to comicsology. Back when it worked.
And when it existed, because now rest in peace. And let me take off my rest in peace comicsology, bro. I mean, damn, yo. Amazon, we're not going to change the name. And then here we are a couple years later, and goodbye, comicsology. A shame. And I mean, again, you know what? But a lot of creators are leaving that platform because there's a lot of disadvantage by being with them, But before you proceed on that, you being in high school and college, did you find a tribe of people that were like-minded that enjoyed what you enjoyed?
I was kind of like the person who was always floating on the outside of social groups. I was never really in one, unfortunately. I mean, I had friends, but like it's like I wasn't in. I was more like the friend you hang around with, but it's like the person you invite.
The guy that everybody knew. That's it.
Yeah.
And I know him.
And also that school, there was a lot of bullies, so I actually had to switch schools for my senior year of high school.
Wait a minute, you were bullied in high school?
Yep, I was a target, unfortunately, because I was a small, skinny Jewish kid. So it's like,
oh man, I'm sorry you had to deal with that. I mean, but that's how you guys dealt with it? They basically moved you from schools just to avoid any type of
moving from one school to my senior year of high school.
Senior year, damn, yo. Oh.
I was in this school from basically grade school up through high school, and it just got to a point where my grades went, and I was like miserable. And they're like, let's go take you to a school where you can get some therapy, and so I went to this other school.
Wow.
And then I went to college in Buffalo.
Wow. Well, fuck you, you bullies. Look what he's doing now. Wherever you are, fuck you. Now he got some awesome books coming out. He's kicking ass. He's about to take over comic books. Yeah. So let's get back to the creative space. So you did your first screenplays, messing around, right?
Yeah.
But what was the day that it went like that to you? Like that you said, damn, I got it. I really want to do something now.
Well, a friend of mine saw my fan work, and we actually teamed up to write we ended up doing like one short run issue of a comic that unfortunately was called Endgame. This was before, it was just as the Scott Snyder Batman run. And I actually jokingly told him that, and he jokingly told me, damn, you don't have to sue you now, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then it was also before Avengers Endgame, but we had one issue, but because of certain things, we couldn't continue after issue one.
Absolutely.
And we were invited by a now defunct publisher, and we're working on the book for re-release. And they turned to me and they went, Daniel, do you have anything else and I had written a bunch of practice, not fan scripts at this point. I was trying to do indie work instead of one day kind of pitch something. And it was something at that time called Modern Colossus or Modern Colossi. And they read the script and we like it. You just have to figure, work a little bit to make it better. But we don't like the title. Okay. So we changed the title to American Dreams. And that was my first book. Okay. And then that publisher kind of broke a bunch of promises to everyone else. And then we moved to Short Fuse. And Short Fuse, of course, dissolved last summer. Just as I was gearing up for the issues 4 and 5 Kickstarter.
Oh my gosh! So here you are, trying an independent creator. You're landing opportunity, but those opportunities are just falling short because over promises. Would you say?
Well, in the case of the first one, the guy made a bunch of promises he didn't keep. In this case of the second one, I don't know what happened. I'm not privy to all the details, but we literally had a meeting like one day. I was like, dissolved. I'm like,
wow.
Good timing on my part.
Holy shit. Oh, wait, but what does that mean for your projects? I mean, you don't lose on your IP.
Well,
or anything,
I don't lose my
right?
IP or anything.
Okay.
So at that point, I was working with Gabe on Knightwrath, and we were creating and I said at the point we were creating a logo called Atlas Studios. I'm like, let that be my brand now.
Yeah.
And that's how it all.
Oh, okay.
And that's how it worked. And so American Dreams 4 and 5 became the first Atlas Studios Kickstarter.
Oh, nice.
And that was success. And we're going to gear up for Volume 1's collected version, hopefully this summer.
So talk about that crowdfunding journey. Now, what type of research did you do, or did you go in blindly say, let me just put it here?
Well, my first couple Kickstarters were run by my then publishers, and then 2020 I was doing the issue 3 Kickstarter, and then the guy who was basically the guy who ran the publisher said, Daniel, we might want you to run it yourself. We'll help you fulfill it. It's just that because of the whole situation, it's better if you do it because they were an African-American run company. And they were like, we feel awkward if we under our own brand said product called American Dreams because of the whole BLM protests that were happening at the time. Yeah. They're like we don't want to, they didn't want to cause some like big signals. I'm like, that's perfectly fine. So I ran that, and let me just pull up how that went. Because it's been a while. I haven't looked at the data for that in a long time. So I can actually pull it up in, I did decent. I did I just made I think over goal. Okay. No, a little bit over. Like twice ago, I had a $2,000 goal. I made like 5,000. All right. And that was for issues 1 through 3. Okay. And we had a Kickstarter for 1, 2 we skipped because we just released it straight into our store. Then we did the Kickstarter for 3. Okay. And then last year I did more research. And I asked a lot of questions to a lot of friends because I was running it by myself this time. Well, fully more by myself because I didn't have the support network I had with 1 through 3 because I didn't have that publisher. Yeah. To fill it. So I asked a lot of friends for help, and I have one person I hired to basically be my fulfillment person. So that helped me a lot. So I don't have a whole bunch of bags and boards and boxes and everything. So because she knows Lori Foster, she knows how to fulfill things so well. Excellent. So I said, I'll have you do it. I talked to Kat Calamia for this Kickstarter and for this new one, and she gave advice. And I hired Brent Fowler to do the design, the graphic design work. I also made sure that all the books were ready to go to print. Gotcha. So that also helped. And I think because I had 1 through 5 last time, I did a lot better. I had before fees, it was like a $6,000 plus success on a $5,000 goal. Nice. Because it's good for two extra books. And then I went back basically to my team for this new one, and then I was thinking of doing an early pre-launch because I wanted to do a pre-launch, but I didn't want to do it too early. And then one of my friends, who actually is my editor on another project, went, "Daniel, you should start the pre-launch and start promoting now." I'm like, oh, what the hell? And I started. So like for the last couple months, I've been promoting as much as I can this pre-launch, which got before launch today like 200 something pre-launch followers.
Wow, nice. Look at you.
That's over the course of 2 months, and that helps with a strong start.
Excellent.
Because it means a lot of people have their email go off, hey, the thing you followed, it's live.
And what are the tools you utilize to make sure that past and even new possible contributors, are aware of the projects?
I use a lot of Facebook, a lot of Twitter, a lot of Instagram. I actually did an update like last week or the week before on the Kickstarter from last year, saying this Kickstarter is coming.
Okay.
So they would, and I actually think I got like 12 or so people follow that from that update, I believe.
Oh, wonderful. So, and let's look at this beautiful Kickstarter you got going here right now. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about it. So, all right here. I'm playing around with these windows, man. All right, so check it out. So right now, you have a goal of 45. You are almost half at 2017. 88 backers. 29 days to go. Beautiful thing. Knightwrath. Yep. Talk to me. Who is Knightwrath? This motherfucker looks badass, bro.
Basically, he's this schlub who gets kidnapped and experimented on into this giant, massive thing. Problem is, our schlub has like no self-confidence whatsoever. So he's like fighting. So he has this kind of overconfident, bestial nature as Knightwrath, but like down beneath, he's still this person with like no. Like low self-esteem, low confidence. So it's interesting to have this juxtaposition in both ways, both a civilian and when he's Knightwrath. So that comes from some of the pathos.
So you're gonna be this big and not feel any confidence? Are you nuts? I would be walking the earth like, go ahead, son, try something.
Well, he's not always looking like that. Like we have hints throughout this first arc of why he has like little confidence, but it doesn't help that when he starts out, he's like this skinny, weak guy. So. And like if you're in that mentality for so long, it's going to affect you no matter what. So it's like someone with like body dysmorphia, like a big bodybuilder who still looks in the mirror and he still sees himself as a skinny guy.
I see. I understand. I absolutely do that. I understand. Trust me.
Yeah.
So who's your artist, man? You're the writer, right? You're not the artist.
Gabe Santos is my co-creator. We actually I hired him basically saying, "You want to do like a comic?" He's like, "Yeah, sure."
So how did you meet? Wait a minute. You're like, yo, hey, Gabe Santos. How did you meet Gabe? I mean, what's the origin story there?
Twitter. It's on his art on Twitter. And it's like, this is.
See, guys, Twitter is not the mess that you people keep fucking trying to bash it as it is. I mean, if you avoid the garbage, you're gonna find good stuff.
Yep.
Wow.
And he's this amazing artist. He's like in his early 20s. He's fantastic.
Where's he from?
He's from Florida, but he's originally from Puerto Rico.
I think it's
Puerto Rican American. I don't know if it's from Puerto Rico, but he's of Puerto Rican descent.
I'm Puerto Rican myself. Don't you worry. Yeah. That's why we got along, brother. Come on, man. I grew up next to Williamsburg, next to my whole bunch of my Hasidic Jews and regular Jewish folks, and I mean, it's like I understand y'all. We're friends.
Yeah. And so we started discussing what kind of project we want to do. He said, I want to do something bigger. I'm like, okay. And he showed me a couple concept arts of some other things. I'm like, you know what, let's do take a little this, take a little that. And Knightwrath started getting bored from that conversation.
So how easy was it for you to approach someone, though? Because, again, what did you do? Because I know a lot of creators are very shy. They're very in-house. They may feel uncomfortable asking for help, right? So
that's really weird because in person, I'm very shy. I'm very much an introvert in real life, but like somehow on the internet, I'm like a little more extroverted. So I just I reached out to him.
Yeah. So on the internet, he's Danny K, the big boss. Love it. And look at this. I mean, the book is gorgeous. So talk about the team. I mean, how did you meet the rest of the team involved?
Well, Gabe suggested our inker, David, and he also suggested our colorist, Daniel M, and I knew our letterer from other past things. So it was basically a bunch of people bringing in who they knew to create the book. And Gabe knew our variant B cover artist, so we went with him. And I know, and the guy who does the cover C variant, Netho Diaz, who's on G.I. Joe and several other things. Yeah. I knew him because he did all my variant covers for the first arc of American Dreams. So it just worked like it's basically taking who we know and bringing them in.
Gotcha. I mean, but look at this artwork, wonderful. Look at the coloring. For me, it feels very 90s too.
Yeah, that was the idea.
I'm digging it. I mean, that's my era of collecting. I mean, look at this. I mean, so is this him regular or who's this guy?
It's just a random thug.
Oh, he's just a random thug. Look at him, bro. And he likes to dress in red so he could be noticed, don't he?
Yeah.
He got an ego issue. Wepa, look how quickly, homie, like, yo, you see, folks, even if you look good, it don't matter. They're gonna whack, homie's gonna whack you real quick. Yo, that is so great. Look at the panel usage here. So, do you have direction in the panel work, or is that all your artists?
This time we did usually I write full script, but this time we did I call it a hybrid Marvel style, where I do a page by page breakdown, but I don't do like panel by panel breakdown. Okay. So like Gabe go crazy, then I went back when I got the pages, I went back and like wrote the dialogue panel by panel.
How did you learn that type of breakdown style though? When you got into creating comics, how did you know to write the comic? You know, understand panels to direct an artist. How did you figure this out?
Well, like I used to write comics, like I wrote, like you would write a film, like a quasi film script, and then I used a program called Celtex, which taught me how to actually write it. So I went from Celtex from there to like Microsoft Word and now Google Docs, but it showed me the breakdown of page, panel, character, dialogue, so on and so forth. But I don't like. I'm weird because usually people will center their dialogue with the little voiceover or caption. I still write it like it's like a film script. Or a play script, because I see a lot of theater, so that's one of my first forays in creative arts was acting at school.
Wait a minute, you were acting in school?
Well,
what was your top acting achievement, even in school?
Okay, I did a lot of character acting parts. So there were two parts in the high school. The first was in the Real Inspector Howard. I played the character called Magnus, who comes on a wheelchair and nearly stabs into people. And I'm a small guy. I'm in a wheelchair. Our stage manager to literally throw me on stage was the captain of the wrestling team.
Oh, damn.
So I nearly hit one of the actors, and this actor was the stepson of the headmaster.
Oh, okay.
So both of him he was a kid was a prick though, but that's another story.
That's another story. And maybe you can tell what happened.
And I don't want to spoil the twists of Real Inspector Hound, but it's a fun, crazy part because I'm literally playing this crazed, British military guy in a wheelchair.
Well, too far.
Or is he?
Oh.
I don't remember the twists and turns because there's a story and a B story that kind of collide during the middle of the show. It's a one-act play. Originally, and then a year later, we did called Lend Me a Tenor, which is another broad satire comedy. And I didn't have the biggest part, but I played the bellhop. And it's just this really funny, crazed character. At one point, I get literally chased around the set because I end up knowing something I shouldn't, and the person who plays the character of the manager of the opera company wants to stop me from knowing it. So, and my friend is playing the manager, so she has to literally she and several others have to chase me around this giant hotel room set. And it's just, and I actually had to do also voice over work for it because I had to pretend so I had to record like if I was doing a telephone message to one of the characters. And I had to actually learn a bit of opera.
Oh, no way.
For it.
Oh, man, don't tell me DK sound like Pavarotti now.
Oh, God, no. I'm not the greatest singer in the world. I'm more of a countertenor, so more higher.
He goes the countertenor. Yeah, that sounds like some evil multiverse opera people that will blow your ears out.
No, it just means I have a higher note range.
Got it. Okay.
So instead of like being like here, it's like here.
All right, gotcha.
So I had to record. I had to be taught by, I forget by who. I think it was actually my Glee Club teacher, just for this one little phone call recording, like the opening. I think to Largo. I forget which aria. It's like I think it's from Barbara Seville, and I think, and I had to do like 3 or 4 takes with the guys in charge of the stagecraft at the school, just to make sure we had the right take.
Oh wow!
And this is like 2000 and I want to say 4, so it's not the best, not like school. Like I went to a prep school, so we had some. It wasn't like LaGuardia, but we were supposed to be like the best highest prep school outside of LaGuardia that had performing arts.
I guess,
but it's still like early 2000s technology. It wasn't exactly stuff.
Isn't that the best? And New York don't upgrade the quickest. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that much. Yeah, but I want to get back to this. I mean, look at this 1-page panel. Holy fuck, bro. I mean, your character design is absolutely... Oh, shit. Look at this.
That's Gabe's cover.
Wait, that's the cover?
That's cover A, yeah.
Cover A. I mean, look at this beast of a character. I mean, what is this energy that he's exuding?
It's kind of like this magical dark force. It also helps him, kind of doing like the Venom, like tendril climb kind of thing. Okay. But it's kind of just to make him look bigger and more imposing. More so like this dark energy.
And what's that in his chest?
It's just more glowing energy.
Okay.
That's Frisk Katzis, I believe, that did that cover.
Mm.
And Tommy Trout, I believe, did the coloring on it.
Wait a minute. You have even a cover by Neto Diaz. I mean, how are you landing these people?
Well, Neto Diaz, as I said, did my variant covers for American Dreams. So that's how I knew. Someone introduced me to him, and we've had a working relationship ever since for variants. So I think he's about to get a little busy, so I might have to find someone else.
Yo, this is fire. Look at this, and this is so Kirby-ish in a sense with the hand play.
Yeah.
Like he used to do. Like, yo, I am so loving this cover. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So talk about these. So these are all the covers available, right?
Yep, we have an early bird special for them as well as the.
Oh shit! What is this?
It's an example of Gabe's artwork using my American Dreams character Liberty. It's not going to be probably going to be like that if you get a commission for him because we do have a commission tier. It's probably going to be more of a torso. Let's just give you an idea of his pencil work.
Whoa, sick, homie. And look how beautiful that looks on a tablet, folks, for only $5. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But for 7 beans, we're getting a physical copy, right?
Yeah, early bird special only goes through St. Patrick's Day.
Hey, folks, drink your beers and pull out your credit card. Start getting spent crazy. All right, yeah. Come on. Oh my gosh!
The digital bundles, you get the first issue of American Dreams and the first issue of Knightwrath digitally.
So talk to me about Atlas Studios. When was that formed? Why did you feel that you needed to form it? And are you accepting creators?
So Gabe and I were talking about it when we were setting up Knightwrath because I think at the time I just wanted my own studio kind of branding at the time. Okay. And we came up with the name, and it actually we had to debate back and forth because I was we were looking at other names, and we're like, oh no, that's taken by this company, this is taken by that company, and then somehow we hit on Atlas Studios, and then Short Fuse kind of dissolved last year, so we officially became Atlas Studios. So it's really my brand. As for other creators, I don't think I'm ready quite yet to bring in other creators, but I am thinking of an anthology for American Dreams. So yes and no.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And talk to me about this, because I always love to talk to creators when they offer retailer packages. Because obviously we got to get you guys in shops. It's not just about people buying on Kickstarter, but we got to put this in front of other people that are not aware of Kickstarter. So talk about this retailer package. What are retailers getting, and what's up?
They're getting 5 copies of cover A. They're getting a copy of cover B and C as well. They are going to have a digital copy for them to peruse themselves. And because the retailers...
Talk about that. So how many copies are they getting? Because this tier is only $30.
It's for retailers specifically only, but it's 7 copies of 5
Wow.
of A, 2 of B and C. And we're giving a little free ship because we wanted them to make a little profit off the copies.
Of course. So I mean, but they get to make some pretty good bank. I mean, you get that many copies. I mean, even buying that many copies nowadays in the copy shop will run you 30 easily. Right. I mean, but you obviously that there's some upcharge. And what's this early bird bundle?
Early bird bundle is you can get 1 copy of every cover. So
every cover.
And the digital copy as well.
Oh man, look at, and what's 75?
That's the cover bundle after the early bird special goes off on the 17th. So a little bit of an upcharge on the 17th.
Oh my gosh, limited to 10. Yeah, so you got a commission right here for $1.50. Yeah. And is this an OG commission? It's not a print.
It's a commission, yeah. It was published separately from the comic, but yeah, that's the idea. It's going to be like a torso commission, so it's not going to be as detailed as that, but you'll get it a lot. But you'll love it.
Look at it. So you're the co-creator, the writer. We got Gabe Esquivo Santos, the co-creator and pencils. David Rivera at inks. Daniel on colors. Francisco Zamora on letters. Yeah, but I love pronouncing my stuff with my Latin accent because this is what I do. All right. Don't let me start rolling my R's either, bro. I'll drive the ladies crazy. But this is awesome, yo. I mean, look at your amazing project, beautiful artwork, and to be honest, I just say it to me, just seeing like the dieselness of the character, meaning how brolic he is, how muscular. Sorry for keep using slang. Like, he reminds me very pittish.
Yeah, that was one of Gabe's influences for.
Oh, word? It was? Yeah, nice. And why not, man? The Great Dale Keown. I could see that shit right there. It's beautiful, man. And I love the name Atlas. I mean, it is resonant of an old school brand, but with a new school flavor, baby.
Yeah, I was thinking more like a map to explore to new stories. But it's really funny because I had sent at Baltimore 2 copies of issue 1 of American Dreams, officially the studio's versions, to CBCS, and I get like the notification that they're trying to process it. I'm like, oh, Atlas Comics from the, I guess it was the 50s. Like, wrong Atlas.
Gotcha. Wow.
Because that Atlas became this little company called Marvel that no one's ever heard of.
Who's heard of them, right? I mean, God, I mean, look at myself, like, really?
Yeah.
I mean, with the exception of maybe G.I. Joe that had an appearance. Yeah. All right. But are you accepting submissions for Atlas if people wanted to kind of join the brand, or is this just right now just you and your homies trying to build something?
Right, I mean, it's just me and the people I'm working with. I think as things get more steady and I can support more people, it's going to be. But
the potential is there for that opportunity.
Yes, down the line, yes.
Excellent. Love that. So what does the future hold for Atlas outside of this amazing current project right now? Folks, again, he's almost there. He's almost halfway there. So let's get her done. 29 days to go. But what's the future of this
Well,
baby?
we have a few things coming up. We have American Dreams Volume 1, so that's going to be the collected edition.
Ooh, a graphic novel? How many pages? I want that.
It's at least going to be 110 plus bonuses plus because it's 5 issues of content plus a couple of new things.
Wonderful.
There's this 1950s set sci-fi book I'm doing called Crusaders vs. Aliens. It's at Freeport, New York, where my dad grew up. So it's like an homage to my grandparents, my parents, and my.
Holy shit! It's like Grease versus Aliens, more like it. Holy shit! I'm digging it.
As I say, it's like American Graffiti meets Mars Attacks.
Preach! I'm already a fan. You're hooking me. Oh my God, you're hooking me like a fish. I'm out of the water, bro. Talk to me. What the fuck's going on here?
Okay, so we have Marcelo Muller is doing the art on that. Timothy Brown's doing the colors. We got another Nitho Diaz cover.
Ooh.
We got a Dodi Eka cover. So Dodi Eka, who's my artist on American Dreams, did a cover. and we have a Bill Walco cover.
Oh shit!
And we're debating if it's going to be just single your floppy, or if we're going to do, because I looked this up. There's a printer that can do this option, a possible hardback single issue.
Oh my God! Please, as a fan, if you do a hardback single issue, that would make, I think, collectors like a collector exclusive, yo.
Yeah.
Or even introduce it, like, yo, you get a softback and just limit the hardback, dude.
Yeah, the idea is to limit the hardback to like a set number. I was thinking 58 because it takes place in 1958.
Oh, dude, I love it, bro. I mean, for real, you should do that.
And it's exercise too.
Anything that's I love my soft covers, but I got my hard covers in a box right now because I'm gonna move soon. Wait till y'all see my hard covers. Hell fucking yeah, bro. Go hard, bro. Hey, that's what she said, right? Hey.
I was going to how they did it for Dark Knight 3, where they had that whole set.
Yeah.
With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then the collection box. So that's what gave me the idea, and I found out that Mixum, this printer I was looking at for the American Dreams volume, because that was going to be hardcover and softcover.
You're mentioning American Dreams. I just want people to know, who is American Dreams?
American Dreams is the title. The hero in it is Liberty, who's a Jewish immigrant from the Lower East Side, who is kind of caught up in a mad science experiment gone wrong when he's in the middle of a gang fight in Washington Square Park. And Thomas Edison basically is doing this experiment further uptown, and zap! He was getting powers in 1900s New York.
Really?
That's at the Gilded Age. So I get to play with Edison, I get to play with Houdini, I get to play with Aleister Crowley as our biggest bad guy, who's like kind of like the spider in the middle of the web.
I am digging the shit out of this right now. All right, that's awesome. Anything to do with New York too, bro. I need this shit on my shelf.
I have a couple other things in progress. I have a book called Sadiq, which is Hebrew for wise man, and it's a Western. I call it my kosher Western. And it's about
you got that sea salt on that shit. All right,
it's a Jewish guy from New York who basically goes to live with his sister and her family out west, and the first arc is basically him finding his place. In 1880s Texas.
Whoa! Have you been to Texas?
I have, but I was like 14. I was Houston. I was there for a cousin's wedding.
All right, so you visited and you were like, "Oh my God, this had Uber influence on me." What happened there, bro?
I think it's more like watching old westerns that gave me the idea.
Brother, you and me both. I mean, I don't know if we're the same age, but let me tell you, man, I grew up on like Clint Eastwood spaghetti westerns, and I'm gonna say blasphemy right now. I'm not a John Wayne fan, but give me some Clint Eastwood.
Like my westerns growing up with the comedy westerns, so Cat Ballou and Blazing Saddles.
Oh, bro, Mel Brooks, legendary. One of my boys.
It's the altar I worship.
Yo, I love Mel Brooks. Yo, God bless him. Yo, I'm so happy we still have him. I hope he has the energy to do at least one more something, yo.
He's doing one more something. He's doing History of the World Part 2 as a TV series.
Oh my God, yo, Mel Brooks. Like, listen, bro, my favorite Mel Brooks movie ever is High Anxiety.
I love High Anxiety
because just that scene in Central Park when he goes to the birdhouse and the birds just keep shitting on him anyway. It's like, that's life, motherfucker.
And it's just like it's the whole newspaper scene. It's like, here's the paper, here's the paper. Yeah. It's like the whole rhythm of Psycho. And I just love the fact that, did you ever hear the story of how he pitched it to Hitchcock himself?
Please tell me.
So he goes to Hitchcock's place because he doesn't want to offend Hitchcock. He's pitching. So he and Hitchcock go to get lunch at the Brown Derby restaurant. And he's pitching the thing to Hitchcock. He has a very simple meal, but Hitchcock orders plate after plate after plate of food as Mel's giving the spiel. And then he goes for like the after dinner cigar, and he goes, you know what? I'm still hungry. Do it all again. And it's dish after dish after dish after dish of food as a second course.
Yeah,
he ate a lot. And Mel's like just having like a simple like chicken like Milanese or something, and he's just staring at
he's like, bro, I mean, I'm spending my movie budget right now. What are you doing to me?
Well, I think it was Hitchcock's treat because Hitchcock could afford the Brown Derby. a little bit more easily. And then he goes.
I hope Hitchcock was paying.
And then he goes to, after he's done shooting the movie, he shows the final cut to Hitchcock, who says, he actually gives a couple funny gag notes. He said, this is how I would do it. And then Mel thought, I wonder if he liked it, because I don't know if I offended him or something. Next day, he gets a giant crate of rare wine from Alfred Hitchcock.
No.
Because he knew Mel was the wine drinker. Apparently, Hitchcock loved the film as a tribute.
Love it. I mean, Mel Brooks is a legend, so please, keep giving him his flowers while we still have him, because he's an amazing legend in film. I mean, people now, Blazing Saddles is not a movie that would come out nowadays.
No, it's good,
but it's a classic, though.
People say, "Oh, you can't do Blazing Saddles these days." I'm like, I think you could, but you have to make sure people are in. Like they had got Richard Pryor in. Because Mel was literally writing the script and says, we need a black guy in this, because otherwise we're gonna get, because we're writing all this stuff. It's great to get someone's perspective, so they get Richard Pryor in to write the script.
Yeah. And
Richard Pryor, they also think, this make him the star, and Warner Brothers and every other studio was like, we can't insure him.
Yeah, hell no, yo, because this guy's about to F you up if you.
Well, the problem was Richard Pryor's drug abuse, so they're like, we can't insure.
There was a lot of problems out there. That's a shame though that was the type of deal he had. I mean, come on, man. He was working on great movies in that era. Yeah. Come on, man. He had a great. What was his name? Gene
Wilder, because he had to Gene Wilder after Blazing Saddles, coincidentally. And actually, Gene Wilder came in because the original guy who played the Cisco Kid, what's his name? Like a blank. It's another famous Western actor who was hired to do part of the Cisco Kid, and it's the first day of filming. Lee Von Little's ready to film, and the guy's hanging upside down because it's the scene where he wakes up in the drunk tank. And the second he starts doing his lines, the guy starts having the DTs.
Oh, okay.
He was a recovering alcoholic. So Gene Wilder flies out to do the part, and he says to Mel, I'll do this on one condition. We do my movie next. That movie was Young Frankenstein.
Ah, shit. Legendary film. Another Mel Brooks movie.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Mel Brooks, but please give him the flowers, man. We're gonna lose. He's up there in age, man. I don't want to lose him anytime soon. But
he's gotten through so much loss in the last few years. His wife passed.
Yeah, man.
Like a decade ago. Carl Reiner, who was his best friend, just passed. So it's.
Oh my God, that's what I'm saying, yo. This is a dude that's been in the industry. He's entertained us, even in the day and age where comedy is now so, reviewed, if you will.
It's like I understand I was afraid to go a little to the point of offense. There's a way you can deliver the lines that would still be shocking, but still funny and acceptable.
Yes.
But you have to punch up. You can't punch down.
Absolutely agree.
Problem is, a lot of people want to punch down and then are suddenly shocked when there's a reaction.
Yeah, but there's also, with the cancel culture, in my opinion, nowadays, you can't go to the past and say, let's cancel this movie. Please understand the era and understand we've actually changed a lot from that time to now.
Right. Well, I think most people do get it's a different era.
Most people, but not a lot of people.
Right. And then there's just people who are just being jerks, and there's a reaction to them.
Yeah, and it sucks. Understand that was the era at the time. Let's not cancel that, because if you try to eliminate something from the past and hide it, how can we ever prove that we grew?
Right. I'm hesitant to watch Gone with the Wind because, let's be honest, it's as core a fundamentally racist film. It may be one of the best films of all time, but it's a fundamentally racist film. And
I just can't watch it because I'm just not interested. It's not my thing. Because anything that involves musicals, I can't do.
Well, it's not a musical. It's just 3 hours long.
And also 3 hours long. Unless it's a Marvel movie, I can't do it. I need to. Yeah.
I enjoy musicals because I grew up going to see shows and I watch musical movies.
Listen, the only musicals I could tolerate are Mel Brooks when he throws in some music, because he's just, come on, man. Those lyrics are just fucking hysterical.
You have to have a good lyricist and a good composer. But like one of my favorite movies of all time is Singing in the Rain.
Mm.
And it's pretty innocuous entertainment, more or less. I'll admit it's fluff. It's a 1950s song and dance musical about the silent age of Hollywood, but it's just so good.
Gotcha. I mean, that's another movie I haven't just sat down and watched because I just can't do it right now. I'm not at that level right now. I need to see blood. I need to see gore. I just watched Studio 666, Foo Fighters, David Grohl, great job.
Yeah.
Hysterical, bloody, and gory, right up my alley.
Yeah.
That's what I need right now. Maybe one day when I'm 80, I could sit down and let me watch this musical and have a handkerchief next to me and cry. And I'd be like, Daniel told me I would enjoy this.
Yeah. I recently watched John Carter of Mars, the Disney film that was under fun.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I liked it. It was fun. But again, it's a little bit of a product of its time. But Richard Newby also recently, Richard Newley or Newby, he's at a Hollywood Reporter.
Yeah.
He recently published an article that because of the flop of John Carter, it kind of made Disney finally think, you know what? If we want our own Star Wars, let's just buy Star Wars. And thus, like 2 years later, they bought Lucasfilm.
And look at that. Exactly. You know what? My team is talking about Disney's original attempt at a Star Wars style universe in the Black Hole from the 70s. And I mean, they love this movie. Talking about it, like this is Disney's attempt to try to, cast some light on themselves, but it just didn't happen.
Right.
Did you like the Black Hole?
I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it.
I'll fire it up on Disney Plus probably this weekend. But it's one of those films that are always like lightning in a bottle. It's like it was like the right amount of ingredients at the right time.
Yeah.
And that's why it works. I mean, look at the first Star Trek movie. They went to kind of like, we want to make our own movie to catch on this. But it's very more cerebral. And it's not so very pew-pew. And then, the next movie, it's very more pew-pew.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And that's what people want. Because, again, people don't want cerebral. When they go to a movie theater, they want to either shoot them up or kill them fast. I want to be entertained. And, at least that's the majority. This is why over the weekend I tweeted, is there an actual awards show? People that movies that people actually watch awards show, because the things that are nominated sometimes is like no one watched this shit except critics. And at the end of the day, are you really telling me this is what matters? No. Let's talk about what people like.
Yeah, I actually wanted to be a film director when I was a kid, so I did watch the Oscars. And because I'm a Broadway buff, I do watch the Tonys. I haven't watched. I didn't watch last year's because it was basically awards, and then they did the musical performances. I just watched the musical performances. I didn't actually watch the awards part of the Tonys last year.
Gotcha. So talk to me. What else we got coming? Anything else from Alice and from Daniel from the team?
Let me think. I got.
Where do I have to open up my wallet besides this campaign?
I do have an online store where you can get the digital copies of American Dreams right now.
So we could get some previous stuff.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, really? So if we visit you on social or Atlas Studios somewhere, we have
link to my web store, and right now I have the digital copies available because I still have to go for my physical inventory because I have to check things before I go to this con in the summer to make sure I have enough.
What a great segue to that. As a comic creator, where can we see you next, live and in person?
So I have 2 cons definitely guaranteed at the moment. I have Terrific Con up in Connecticut.
I love Terrific Con. Yeah, shout out to Mitch Halleck, yo.
That's gonna be my first time going, so this is gonna be fun.
Great show, bro. Mitch knows how to put on a show. You're at a hotel that has a casino too, so people are spending money. They're having a good time. Let me tell you, if you watch No Price Podcast, that is Buddy Young's favorite convention in the Northeast. He goes, there's no other convention I'd rather go to than Terrific Con.
I have a friend who's flying in from the UK around the time, so I'm taking him with me as my assistant. And I think it's going to be his first Comic-Con in the States, if not.
Oh, wow. So I'm going to make sure that Bud visits you, take some pictures, Because I'm no longer in the Northeast. I'm not. Otherwise, I would have been over there giving you a big hug in person. Like, yo, check out this is my homie.
And then I have Baltimore lined up in October.
Oh, nice! You got to go to Baltimore.
It's one of my favorite shows. It's one of my favorite shows. It was actually the first Comic-Con I ever went to sell because
why don't you do Florida, man? Come down to MegaCon, get a tan, and do MegaCon.
Well, it's too late for me now to do MegaCon. I think they're all booked. I am planning maybe for next year because a whole bunch of friends of mine were supposed to come out to help me out with this Terrificon thing, and then a whole bunch of them. My friend from the UK had to cancel for various reasons, so we're all trying to schedule maybe Orlando 2023 for MegaCon.
Excellent. So get it done, bro. Cause I'd love to see you out here, show you some love. You know what I mean? Cause I'm always going to be around. I'm gonna be there. I'm in Orlando. That's gonna be my show.
I think Gabe's in Orlando too at some point, but I don't know if he's at the show.
Yeah, homie, just show up. Just show up at the show, and I got you, kiddo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so great. Baltimore is one of my favorite shows.
Yo, Stuart, wepa! Salute, Big Stu. Yeah, Big Stu Wilson. You gotta check him out. I think another show for you that you should check out is 6 Element Hip Hop. It's hip hop and comics, and they probably would love you too.
Okay. But yeah, Baltimore is one of my favorite shows. It's the first show I ever showed at with Kat Calamia, because we were both at Shortfield at the time. She's like, yeah, let's drag you down to Baltimore, and we'll.
Thank you.
Thanks. And it's like, so that's been my kind of my end of year show I like doing.
Okay. Excellent.
And actually this year from there I have to go to a wedding, so it's like a week away from work.
Will we see you at New York Comic-Con?
I am hoping. I got Pro Pass last year, but I didn't get a table. So hopefully,
okay. Let's get you that table, man. Let's wish it out to the world. What do you want this year?
I want to be at New York Comic Con at Norris Alley.
There you go, folks. Speak it out to the world. Let's manifest that motherfucker.
And I like to do it because I did C2E2 last December, in December. So
you did C2E2?
Yeah, in December.
Yeah, that's a big thing too, kiddo. Yo, you pat yourself on the back.
It was my best show yet, so it's like
love it.
I love to do New York. It's my hometown show, and I don't have to travel that far.
I hear you, man. It's a short drive or flight. What did you drive?
I don't drive, so cons. so it's harder for me to get.
Bro, let me tell you, what motherfucker from Brooklyn drives, or what New Yorker drives when you got Uber,
one of my friends. Friends, it's like he's also my DM in a Dungeons and Dragons game, and he's he's constantly ragging on me about you're constantly taking the subway and don't drive, and friends of mine role players are like, dude, he lives in New York, why does he have to drive?
Yeah, my brother, this is exactly what I told people. Growing up in New York, I didn't need shit. I did not get my license until I was fucking 40 years old. All right, that's when I got my license, and my wife said, yo, we're not in a place that has trains anymore, so it's time. I said, all right, I got it. I mean, I knew how to drive. Trust you me that I won't mention it. But some jobs was just giving me the cars and saying, like, yo, can you drop off homie? I'm like, you are aware that even though I know how to drive, I don't have a license. Yes, I'm aware. Just drive safely.
So I love to like one of my ideas was hope if I eventually. Oh, thanks, Stuart.
They want you on the show, kiddo. There you go.
It's like one of my ideas was also to just take the train down to Orlando and then drive to a Uber to one of the hotels by the convention center if I do.
Gotcha.
Next year, and then I saw the price on Amtrak. Woof!
Oh,
that's a one-way ticket.
My brother, your family will never see you again.
No, it's just that it's like $500 for a roomette. Down on a train from New York to Orlando, and that's the one way.
Wait a minute, but is that because you refuse to take a plane? Are you afraid?
No, I'll fly. I just want to have the adventure.
Oh God! Don't do listen. My baby brother once told me that he took the train with my dad because my father cannot do planes, and he goes, bro. The human body smells on that shit. You do not want to deal with. Please take a plane.
Well, they did have a roomette, so I had a little, private room on the train versus, just a coach or a business class seat. But it's just so expensive that right now it's just more feasible for you just to fly.
Yeah, man, just fly, kiddo. You gotta come down here. You gotta spread the greatness of Atlas. Of the character, everything you're doing. Because
Oh,
Daniel,
that
boy,
reminds me. I'm going to be in an anthology that starts on Thursday on Kickstarter called Cthulhu
oh,
in Wonderland.
oh, really? This Thursday is dropping. Talk about it.
So I'm doing one story in that thing. Travis Gibb.
How many pages? How many pages you
I
got?
don't know off the top of my head, but I think 200 pages.
Oh,
And I'm just one story in a bunch of stories. I'm doing the Dodo story.
okay, a dodo. Hey,
Because we're doing a bunch of Wonderland characters fighting off Cthulhu. It's going to be really fun. And Travis Gibb, who is in Florida, is in charge.
oh, I know Travis Gibb. Yes, nice.
He's show running the whole thing, and I think the idea is to have some of us eventually come down to do something for it. But
Excellent.
I have to see if I can swing it. I have to do the. I have to basically see if I can, swing the ticket, swing the day off, because I'm already off for like 2 weeks in July, August, and then again in October, November. So it's like I lose my days very fast.
Yeah, you're killing it, kiddo. You're killing it. You're out there. You're doing your thing. So flower time is let me say thank you as a fan to a creator. Thank you for putting yourself out there. Thank you for sharing your talent, your stories and your energy. It takes a special person to do that. So let me just thank you. And if anybody talks shit, just give them the MFS. And if you don't know what that is the middle finger salute. Fuck you. Because if you ain't doing shit, don't talk shit. And that's facts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just thank you for doing that. And but for real. So with that, I'll be showing this off, but I need you to follow Dan on Facebook at Daniel.Kalban. Kalban. Follow him also on Facebook at American Dreams Comic. Also Atlas Studios Comics. Go to Twitter, follow Daniel Kalban, and also on Instagram at DKalban, because he got it going on. But most importantly, he got this amazing project out right now, guys. American Dreams Comic. He got it all right now. 90s Influenced Antihero Adventure. Show the love, yo. Right now, he's almost halfway there, but let's not even get halfway there. Let's get 3 times over the tier, and see all the extras he's gonna offer. Dan, you've been nothing but an amazing guest. I appreciate the hell. Yo, Manuel, right there is telling you right there. Dan, you keep doing what you're doing, buddy. You know what I mean? Right there, it's Stewie too. You are a talented individual. He's gonna follow you on Twitter and agree that everything you do is amazing, bro. Dan is the man. Look at that. Yo, you're about to be a rapper. Dan is the man. Rap, the next Drake right here. Let's talk about it, yo. The greatest comic. So, thank you, Manuel, for tuning into Big Stu. We're talking to independent creators that are just killing it right now. They're gonna bring something different to the game. They're showing what the game is about. They ain't afraid, and they're putting themselves out there. So, Daniel, again, thank you for tuning. You're hanging out with Almega and the Comic Crusaders podcast. Thank you, familia, for tuning in. You know what I ought to tell you to do, but most importantly, I want you to follow the rest of my extended family, because we celebrate indie hardcore. So check out my boy Dodgy and the rest of the family at Think Indie Podcast, the Sundercast. I want you to check out Cinema Crusaders for film, sloppy spoilers, undercover capes, outside the panels, my boy Johnny Hughes. Yeah, everybody, much love. You know what we do. Hasta la próxima, mi gente. Daniel, you rock. Hasta la próxima. Wepa! Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.